All right. Hey guys, how are you? Can everyone hear me okay? On the Zoom world, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
All
sorry.
right, we're going to jump in and get started here. I'm going to do a quick share screen and we've got a lot to go over, so I'm going to jump right in. Janice is going to start us. We're finishing up on the 6 personal perspectives today. And Janice is going to get us started. Right. All right. So as you guys know, last week we started off with the first 3. Jump in here. So the 6 personal perspectives, we did commit to self-mastery, commit to the 80-20 principle, and moving from E to P. So today, Janice is going to be talking about making being learning based the foundation of your action plan. I'm going to be going over removing your limiting beliefs. And then Sarah, when she joins us, is going to be going over be accountable. So please, guys, feel free. We're going to have the PowerPoint up most of the time. So please don't hesitate to unmute yourself because we won't see you if you have any questions. Right. All right, I'll step away. And then just obviously you can just click on down the PowerPoint there.
Oh, hi guys. We had a Halloween thing here, so I'm dressed like a track star. So this is not my normal attire. Um, so step 4 is make being learning based the foundation of your action plan. And really what this means is just always be in a mode that you want to learn. Like the day that you say you don't need to learn anything more, you've kind of lost the fight, right? Um, we were talking in our meeting today, here in our team meeting, that even experienced agents are still learning. Like you're never going to know it all. And so just come from that place all the time. It's so funny to use a computer that's not a Mac. You're like, how do I use this thing again?
There you go.
It's like I used to know how to use these all the time, and now I don't. So being a learning-based individual is an individual who has made the decision to use effective learning as the foundation piece for their action plan to develop their life. That's a whole lot of words that pretty much just says come from a place of always be willing to learn, or information that you don't have, or that you're and always go out and seek different learning opportunities. They're not always going to come from coaching. They're not always going to come from their market center. They could come from a different market center. They can come from something you're listening to on your podcast, or a book that you're reading. Like the information that you are seeking or that you need to know are not always going to be at your fingertips. So you have to be willing to go out and find that, is what I say. You guys can jump in if you have any questions or if you want to add anything. No for doing sake. And I'm gonna make this, can you guys see this real good? I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. Okay. So this graph pretty much shows you on the ignorant side, which is, people who feel like they already know what they need to know and they don't need to know anything else. Or the learning based side, where it's I know what I know and there is more to know. And so always come from a place of that, because once you do, you're gonna crash through that ceiling and your production is gonna increase, your business is gonna increase, your growth personally for your family is gonna increase. Like everything that we do for business correlates over to your personal. And so it makes you a better, a well-rounded individual, as they say, on both sides. So your family, you'll be happier at home. You'll be happier with your family. You'll be happier with your clients. Like all of that, everything that we do impacts us personally and in business. Let's see. Okay. So there's 4 levels of competency. There's the unconscious incompetence, And we don't know what we don't know, because you don't, sometimes it's like you get to some place and they be like, do you have a question? It's like, I don't really know what to ask because I don't know what I need to ask, if that makes sense. And so that's a level of competency. Then there's the conscious incompetence, is we now know what we don't know. So now you know a little bit more. You know some things that you didn't know an hour ago. Like I learned things today in our team meeting that I didn't know before a team meeting. It's that coming from a place of always being willing to learn. And then the conscious competence is now we know. Like now I know what I need to do. Now I know how to find a buyer. Now I know how to work with a listing. Now I know how to lead generate or make cold calls, or I know this script or whatever it is. And then that's starting your habits, right? Once you've started practicing and learning these things over and over again, then it creates a habit. And then the unconscious competence is now we just do it without thinking about it. And that's the whole goal of being in coaching, being somebody who comes from a place of learning. You want to do them so that you don't have to think about it. Like it's just second nature. Like when a client calls me, I know what to say. It's second nature. I don't have to think about like, how do I answer this question? How do I address this issue? No, it becomes second nature because you've learned how to handle those situations. Fun fact or true story. When I first started as an agent 4.5 years ago, it'll be 5 years in April, which is totally mind-blowing because that time went so fast, thanks to COVID. I feel like those COVID years just kind of made everything go it just made everything go like lightning speed, right? But when I first became an agent, there was never a time that there was a class in this room that I was not here. Like I attended stuff that I didn't even know why I was attending. I just attended everything I could get my hands on because I wanted to know. I don't like asking people questions to figure something out. Not that you don't have to do that sometimes, but I didn't want to have to do it every single time I had a client. Like, how do I do this? Or where do I go for this? So I attended everything to the point where it was like, if there's a class, they knew I was going to be there. They could count on one person because I was going to be in that class. But I came from a place of learning because I switched careers totally. I was in corporate and I switched total careers. And so I needed to know and wanted to know all that I could know about being a realtor, selling houses, working with clients, all of that. Hey, Sarah. Okay. Learning for earning's sake. So high achievers reach their goals by making training, education, and self-development the foundation piece of their action plan. So you'll hear a lot of agents, a lot of mega agents, successful agents all say they attend trainings, conferences, anything that's going to sharpen, iron sharpen iron. So sharpen their tool. We just finished Sales Rocket yesterday, which was an amazing 6 weeks. A long 6 weeks. I was happy for yesterday so I can get my day back. But it was good. And then some people are going to take that and then go to Glover in January. So people are going to go to family reunion in February. People go to mega agent camp in August. Like you need to stay from a place of learning and go to those activities that are going to help you build you as an individual and help you build your business. And each event, you should come back. You should go to those events or those conferences with an action plan of what you need to get out of it. Are you looking for referral partners across the US? Are you looking for whatever it is? You need to hone in on your listings or, increase your knowledge of how to work with buyers, like whatever it is, go to those events and go to classes or, things that are going to increase your production, grow you as an individual, and grow you as a realtor. I'm not going to play the video. You guys can watch that later. So agent curriculums, things that are going to launch you, grow you, achievement, and just overall all levels. So we do have And I'm sure it may be coming up, maybe in the winter. Ignite is a class that is taught throughout the market centers, which is very good. We also have, we just finished, like I said, we just finished Sales Rocket. Bold is probably coming up in the winter, springtime. But then there's books that can help you too. So there's a Millionaire Real Estate Agent, which is a book that I feel like every agent should read, because it gives you the blueprint on how to become an MREA, or if you don't aspire to be an MREA, you can fall somewhere in between. There's a new playbook that just came out. It's called a Millionaire Real Estate Agent Playbook, something that Gary put together, and they launched it at Family, what was just Mega Camp. You can buy it, I think it's $20. I think I went on there, it's like $20, $30 at the most. And it gives you a playbook on how to be an MREA. And if you run the plays, you're gonna get business. And so it gives you step by step on what to do for each scenario. And then there's books you can read. There's other books. There's Shift. There's The One Thing. And they're not all Gary Keller books. There's other books besides books that Gary wrote, that are really, really good. And I would just say, increase your knowledge through books. You can listen to podcasts. I think the next page talks about them too. You can listen to podcasts. You can Google different trainings. There's speakers that put their information out on YouTube. You can literally watch a training every day, all day, and still not crack the surface, because there's so much out there, even outside of coaching. So like here, you have the MREA, the MREI, which is for investors. You have the flip book for those who like to flip. You have the hold book for those who like to invest and hold, or buy and hold. Shift, and then the last one is Shift for commercial, which I did not know we had. So that is something I had not seen.
Did not either.
So that is good information. I didn't know we had a Shift for commercial. Let's see. So here's The One Thing. I would say The One Thing also has a podcast, The One Thing podcast, which is really good. You should listen to that. That is held by or hosted by, I don't know who hosts that one. I can't think off the top of my head right now. So is that one? There's an MREA podcast. There's a Shift podcast. It's so many podcasts, y'all. You can listen to those like while you're driving in the car, on your way to an appointment. And they're like usually like less than 45 minutes. They're not really long. Once you guys grow in your business, there's KW MAPS coaching. So they do, with MAPS coaching, there is a minimum requirement as far as your production level to be in different forms of MAPS. It is more costly than being in the PC program. So once you get to that level, you can choose to do that with a MAPS coach. KW Connect also has a ton of training on there. So you can go on KW Connect and look at past trainings. You can also pull materials and all of that down from Connect. And
I'm gonna do the exercise.
okay, so yeah, we're not gonna do the exercise. Does anybody have any questions about the learning part on Zoom or in person? No, you guys are good?
I'll bring this point up. So you'll notice around brokerages, the people that attend things or have MAPS coaches or go to conventions, is typically the successful people that are
Mhm.
really, finding the success that they want in their business. And yet they don't think that they know it all.
Right.
They are still seeking to learn more. Even Jose, who owns our brokerages, has a MAPS coach.
Mhm.
He has a coach who he talks to regularly to help him be a better owner of brokerages.
Mhm.
So there's always things, and those things are important for lots of reasons, to learn new things and stay fresh, right? But also to help hold yourself accountable.
Yeah.
That's how we do that. But
Yeah.
we all are our own boss. And so it's very easy to say, I'll do that thing later, or now this week is over, I'll do that thing next week. And then all of a sudden it's 2024 and we didn't do that thing.
Right.
It wasn't somebody saying you have to. So that's why we're always learning so many things. The smartest person is the person who knows there's more to learn,
Yeah.
not the person who says they know it all,
Yeah.
right?
And I would say that one thing that astonished me was some years ago before we became a part of Jose's, and CJ and Amanda at our office, and CJ would tell us, like, I have 3 MAPS coaches. We were like, what? Like 3? Like 1 is enough, because they're really like, MAPS coaching is really like intense, right? And you have 3 of them. And so just coming from that, like, you think he had it all, but he's still learning.
Well, and I'm guessing if he had 3, he probably had 1 to teach him how to be a better real estate agent. He had 1 to teach him how to be a better team leader of the
Mhm.
team that he has, and then 1 to teach him how to be an OP.
OP, yeah.
Yep.
But that just shows his commitment to continuing to learn. And so once you say that you don't need to learn, you kind of cut yourself off from growth.
Yeah. Yeah, awesome. Agreed. Yeah. Any questions for
Any
Denise
questions,
before we shift
guys?
gears? What's an OP?
Operating principle.
Okay. Owner, basically.
Yeah,
You know, at KW, we like our
we like our acronyms. Yeah, so operating principle, you know what MCA is and all of those, but yeah. All right,
Thank you.
I'm gonna.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, guys, moving on. So now we are going to jump into one of my favorites, which is limiting beliefs. I love limiting beliefs because I think we all have them and we don't really know. I'm going to toggle back and forth between a couple of different PowerPoints here that I put together. But who can tell me what do they think a limiting belief is by definition?
Something that holds us back from being our best or
Yep.
pursuing our best.
Yeah, so here is the actual definition of, and all this is in the Google Drive, guys. What is a limiting belief? A limiting belief is a thought or state of mind that you think is the absolute truth and stops you from doing certain things. These beliefs don't always have to be about yourself either. They could be about how the world works, ideas, and how you interact with people. And then I've got some examples of those right down here. So what would be an example of a limiting belief? I'm not good enough. So I'm not good enough to do this project, or I'm not good enough to have that job or do that thing. Maybe a limiting belief is I can't sell luxury real estate because I'm not good enough to do that. I'm new. That would be a limiting belief. Another one would be I'm too old or I'm too young. I'm too old to have first-time home buyers want to work with me, or I'm too new in the business that people won't want to work with me. That would be a limiting belief. I don't have enough time. I love this one because we all think it. We all think we don't have enough time in the day. And so I challenge you to look at other people in the world. When we think we don't have enough time, I always find it interesting because there are for sure people that are busier than you. There are. Even if we just take it down to our little world here in Ohio, Jose runs 3 offices, runs a full-time team, has a family, is a elder at his church, has 4 children, and he sells 120 houses on his own every year and continues to grow his businesses even now in other states. So, and I think he works out. So like there's a lot of things that people can do. So time can be stretched in so many different ways, and it starts by how you start your day. So a limiting belief is saying, I just don't have enough time for that. And then you believe it. You can absolutely believe that. I don't have enough experience to do that thing. I'll never be that successful. I don't have enough money to go there or do that. I'll never be the best at that thing. I don't have enough talent. So again, I'll say this. I really, really want to be a good pickleball player. I'm just not. I'm not. I took lesson. I'm still not good. I am sponsoring and playing in a tournament this Saturday morning, and I'm probably going to embarrass myself all over the place. But I'll get 1,500 names from the sponsorship of doing it. And I love to play and I want to play. I'm just not an athletic person. So my limiting belief is I'm not going to ever be good enough to do it, but I really am still putting myself out there, and I'm probably going to piss off a bunch of people by playing in a tournament, but that's okay. So you just have to take those limiting beliefs, and we're going to talk a little bit about how to overcome those challenges and continue to move forward. Let me go back here. Oh crap, I didn't mean for it to start all over again. Let me go back, down, bear with me. Sorry, guys, I thought it would stay where I left off, but I guess not. Anyone else can give me an example of a limiting belief? Anybody in the room with you, Sarah? Anybody on Zoom or here?
Those are the biggest ones for me is I'm so new, or I don't have enough time, or I can't, I won't, or, you know, just. Those are the big ones for me. I'm too inexperienced. I don't know, all excuses though, is what it sounds.
I mean, I like that does break it down. Limiting beliefs can often be excuses. And the reason why we call it limiting belief then is it's an excuse that disables you from doing a thing. Because you think you can't for some reason, have an overall idea about something that is probably actually not true. So removing your limiting beliefs, you have to think about it. You have to actually make a conscious effort to understand that that is a limiting belief and be able to remove it. I am going to go back over to this other one here real quick and go through some steps about that as well. So again, all of this is in the drive for you guys to look at. How to overcome those limiting beliefs. Identify and write them down. So in your life, if you had to sit there right now and say, let me write down 3 things that I right now know to be a limiting belief based on the definition I gave you. Who can share if you were writing that down right now, other than, or even if it was one that I said, because I said the most basic ones, what might be something that you know is a limiting belief that even if it is one of the ones I said, how is that affecting you in your life?
The one about I don't have enough time is affecting me in my life as far as. Like, it's just an excuse, like if I have time to do X, Y, and Z, then maybe I could rearrange my time to be able to do things that promote my real estate business. So I'll admit, I spend a lot of time watching TV. I have to get away from TV, like that's where my time is being spent, when it could be spent somewhere else that's more productive.
Yeah, a lot of people say this to me, that they start their morning off, like a lot of people say this, I start my morning off by getting up, sitting and having a couple cups of coffee, and I can't get moving until I do that. So there's another limiting belief,
Yeah.
because you actually can physically, we make that choice. And not that people shouldn't have blocks of time in their day. That's their sacred time. And for some people, that's in the morning. For me, it's when the day is done, then I can sit down on my porch and watch a Netflix show. And sometimes that's 9 o'clock at night. And sometimes it doesn't happen. I would rather my morning be spent on go. I just am a high energy person. My son often says, can you please talk lower to me in the morning? You're going way too fast. You're shooting all this information at me and I don't remember any of it. So not everybody's a morning person like I am, but also I know this, you can get caught. I remember back in the day when my kids were little, my morning got wasted on the phone. Because I would talk to my family members on the phone and talk to my friends on the phone while I'm having my coffee. And the next thing you know, 2.5 hours have gone by. So we all have the same 24 hours. It can just be how we decide to use it. So identify and write them down, assess if they're accurate. So then ask yourself, is this accurate? So is this something that actually I'm doing that I can change? Use positive affirmations to tell yourself that you can do something different. And then of course, don't give up. So this goes into a little bit more detail about those things there. Let me pop that. Yeah, it's going to make me start over again. I'm sure there's a better way, but I'm just not great on PowerPoint. So. Questions on that before I move on? All right, so we're not going to do the exercises, By the way, guys, this is an Ignite class. And if we were doing a true Ignite, we would have a much larger room full of people and it would be in person only. And we would be doing these activities. I know a big part of liking to interact in class is the activities. So I was actually just talking to Mark yesterday about when we're putting the calendar together for classes, I know what people like most isn't to be spewed at constantly like you're back in school. So we are going to really try to work on creating classes that will be way more interactive workshop like. The hard part about doing those is to be able, because I love these activities that are in here, but the people on Zoom can't participate. And if not enough people are in the room at the time, it just doesn't work. So I do want to incorporate some of those type of workshop type things in as we move forward. Any questions on limiting beliefs? All right, I will let Sarah take it away.
Okay, so I have a big group in here today, so they might be loud. They've been loud all morning.
Awesome.
The next one is be accountable, which I love. I don't think have great accountability, especially being in real estate. Something I struggle with. We have an agent here who's been in the business for a while, and he even said he's not accountable. I told him he should come on with me. But
Can you see that? Or do I need to better?
I have it pulled up on my iPad too.
Oh. Okay, good.
So one of the things of being accountable is, are you a victim or actually are you accountable? And I don't know if all of them or anyone can see that screen, but when you're trying to be accountable, you want to know, like, be aware of everything. You want to have clarity, you want to be energized and be focused on what you want to do. You want to know all the possibilities and how to find solutions. And then when you realize something isn't going the way you want, you just move on with it. You pivot and you change. You make whatever happen. You just don't do as it always been done or status quo. You pivot. One of the things I know that they say in here, but I want to bring up now, they say the 2-minute rule. I actually practice the 5-minute rule. You process it, you analyze it, and then you move on. Like if something's not going right or something's not working for you, practice the 5-minute rule. Just analyze it, process it, and move on. Figure out how not to have that happen. Being accountable is seeks reality, acknowledges reality, you own it, find solutions, and gets on with it.
Tell me whenever I need to switch slides.
You
I'll
can
take
switch
your
slides. I'm on page now. I'm past the video. Past that. Next one.
There we go.
Sorry. It's an exercise, but I think it's a good one. It's accountable versus victim. Like everyone has an issue. We don't have to do it now, but everyone has an issue that they're probably dealing with, whether it's personal, professional, relationships, whatever. You know, I challenge everyone today to take 5 minutes. They say 2 minutes. Take 5 minutes, talk it over with someone, and then, you know, write out what you can do to be accountable. Figure out how you can turn that around from being negative to positive. Accountability. So Mark King, he has his boxes, which he has a financial accountability partner, spiritual, physical, and business. And if you look at his, you see Gary Keller is in 2 of those, which is finance and business. Everyone should have accountability partners for different parts of their lives. And this slide says, you know, accountability, I remember Janice and I just finished Sales Rock and a few people from PC were in it. He says, like, you need to have different accountability partners for everything. And you should have multiple ones every day of the week, not just 1 or 2. It should be Monday through Saturday. That you talk to someone just to hold you accountable for numbers. Are you hitting your weight loss? Are you doing what you need to do just to be a better person? Another fun exercise, which I've done this a few times a year, is who are the people in your box, who are the people that you're aligned with. It's always great to see if they still connect with you, and if they don't, you gotta find someone else. Another fun one is you could do this, it's like a flow chart. You could do what is your goal? This is like our GPS. Basically, just another version of it. We just don't have how you feel about it, which might be something to add, like how does this make you feel to move forward doing this?
So I'll interject. In phase 3 of coaching, this is one of the things that I do with the group that is in phase 3. So we do a 1-hour one-on-one per month, and then we do a 15-minute call per week. And one of the ways that we use accountability in phase 3 in particular is we start that 15-minute meeting with what was your goal? Basically, now did you achieve it? So like we set the goal last week. So like on my way here to Solon today, I had 2 of those meetings. And we started those meetings with what was your goal from last week? Did you achieve that? And if you didn't achieve it, how did that make you feel? How are we going to move forward then and, finishing that through? And then what's our next goal for next week? It's a great way of, with your accountability partner, and with their case, they're in phase 3. So I'm their accountability partner that way. And then I have them text it to me. So in my phone calls with them today, what's your new goal from now till next week when we have our next call? And before we hang up, I want you to text that to me, because now we both have it in writing, and then we're going to review it. Some coaches have even said this: you can't meet with me again until you have achieved it. I have a harder time with that because I don't know why, but I just do. So, and back to my pickleball thing, I did take a lesson, and he said, now you have to practice. I won't meet with you and do another lesson for 2 weeks, and you have to practice or you don't get another session. So same kind of concept and everything in your life to be held accountable that way.
Career growth initiative, we have to set our appointments to get the listings, to get the closings, and then that's how we get a profit. A lot of people just want to jump and not go through these. Like for the appointments, it's your pipeline, it's your sphere, it's your past clients, referrals, all that. Your listings is how you generate, how you touch those clients, people, and how you show them that you're who you want to work with.
So do you know, Sarah, you probably do, the CGI calculator is actually built into your command. Did you all know that? So as you're adding contacts and opportunities in command, if you finish filling out that profile based on what the potential list price will be and what the potential purchase price will be and the average commission on that, you can see your CGI calculator telling you actually what is my database worth in money. And there's those graphs on there. And then it will break down for you how many appointments it takes to get the listing, how many appointments it takes to show houses to get the sale, and then how many listing appointments I have to actually go on before one lists. How many listings do I have to have before I have closed transactions, and so on. And then it breaks down right to your profit.
So it's another
Do you
one.
use that, Sarah? Do you use a CGI calculator in your
I
business?
do. I actually look at that. I just put in another one for a listing and actually told me with the current market and what's been going on, how many showings it possibly will need to get sold.
Nice.
And it does tell you when when 1 month is better than the other, where you're lacking. But you have to be active in your command. And I think a lot of them are still trying to figure out even how to tag people.
Yeah. And that's just like anything else with technology. Once you start using it, it actually becomes easier and easier and easier. The more you're afraid of it and stay away from it, the harder it is and the longer it. So I always just say this: 10 minutes of pain or 10 months of pain, right? Would I rather just have the pain now and force through it, and then I can be at ease moving on in the future, right? So I'm someone who is just like working out. I don't love it. I don't know anyone who actually can say they love to do it. But we like the results that we get. So go through the little bit of pain every day to be able to get the results that you're looking for, or keep procrastinating and feel the pain of not getting to where you want to be. Right?
To me, accountability is all just a mindset. You have to be in the right mindset. You have to push yourself, force yourself just to keep going. I mean, if you want to achieve your goals or whatever it is, why you're doing this, you have to have the mindset and accountability to do it.
Yep, absolutely. Do you want to just recap, Sarah, since you're on here?
Sure. Bring this back up.
Before we move on, any questions about accountability? How do you guys feel about accountability? I find that for the three of us in the coaching role and over the 6 years I've been coaching now, I have found it to be challenging to find out which of the agents in the program actually do want to be held accountable. There's a fine line between we're not your micromanaging boss to we're your coach who we're trying to help you with your business and help you reach their goals. So I've had people in the coaching program throughout the years say this, oh, I didn't know I had to be at class. Why are you checking on me? Those are actual words out of an agent that I've texted to say, hey, haven't seen you in a while. Just want to check in. You haven't been in class. What's going on? Oh, I didn't know it was required. Sarcasm back. And it's not required. I was just checking on you. Then I've had people say, I want someone to check on me more. So we're in this place of how accountable do you guys want to be held to? So if you say, now again, depends on what phase you're in too. Phase 3, they have stayed in coaching by choice after graduating phase 1. They went all the way through phase 2 and by choice stayed in phase 3. So they are at a high level of wanting to be held accountable. They let me say, here's your homework for the next week. You know what I mean? And they are required sort of to have those 15-minute conversations with me. So that's a high level of wanting accountability. So I would say, and one of the things that I'm going to be doing moving forward into the next year is I too am always looking to learn. So I have different meetings and Zooms with different PCs around the country to see different things of what they're doing to come up with new ideas and how we can grow our program. And one of the things is going to be an interesting, I'm trying to set it up where you're going to get to go on to a site and choose the level of accountability that you want to participate in. And it's going to break you down into categories. So I know Sarah and Janice and I have talked about this whole major leagues versus minor leagues, which was a thought to me of incorporating that into accountability. But I know that then people don't want to be thought of as, if there's a group of major leagues, then who's in the minor leagues? Like no one wants to deliberately be in the minor leagues, right? So rather than using those terms, a different type of categories of breakdown. If you're looking to sell this many houses and your goals are this, you're in this A group, we'll say A, B, and C. And then here's the level of accountability that comes along with that. Here's the type of check-ins that you're signing up for. If you're in, let's just say B, and we'll come up with something better than that, then here's what your coaching program, it's basically putting it in your hands to say to us, here's what I'm looking to get out of the coaching program and how we can, and what the level of accountability is that you're seeking. Because a lot of you guys are dual career people, or some people would stay home, some people can't ever come in, some people can't even Zoom in. So that's going to look like a very different thing. It's not that we're changing the coaching program, but it is going to help us, in the PC role to assist you guys to the level that you're looking for on a way more personal level, and then just being a group environment. So as our group has grown, the one-on-one-ness is kind of faded slightly. So I think this will bring us more back to a very personal coaching program set for you. Sarah, take us away with updating here what we went over in the past 2 weeks.
So to become a high achiever, you have to commit to self-mastery, commit to the 80-20 principle, which is something even I still have to work on. Move from E to P, make being learning-based the foundation of your action plan, which Denise was perfect to talk about that because we just came from a very learning-based 6 weeks.
Mhm.
Remove your limiting beliefs, which you're great at. You're great at finding the different ways to make people see how they need to be. And then be accountable. I call accountability the millionaire mindset. Like you have to have that want, that drive to do what you need to do.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, we've got about 15 minutes. The floor is your guys. So tell us, what do you think? What questions do you have? How do you feel that those 6 personal perspectives can be applied into your life right now to help you be a better person and a better agent? How can you incorporate? Give me an example of how you can incorporate any one of those, and I'll go back to the 6 into your business.
I would say from today's lesson, just writing down what my limiting beliefs are so that I can actually focus and challenge them versus like just kind of having them rattling around in my mind from time to time. Being able to look at this and say, okay, again, for me, it's the time thing. Like I always have an excuse why I don't have enough time to do something. Okay, so then what's taking up your time that you can't do what you need to do to be more successful? If this is what you want, which it is, I can say that pretty confidently. Like I do want to be a successful real estate agent, high productive or high producing and whatnot. So what do I need to do to get there? What's stopping me? And my biggest thing is time.
Yeah. And don't you think this? So like if you, who's starting your business, asked a highly productive, successful agent, what is it that got you from E to P? How do you spend your 80-20, right? What are the things and how did you get your mindset? Because here's the thing. This thing called success for all of us, whatever that looks like, is dangling right here. It's right here. I'll tell you, this probably happens for everyone, but as you approach or go over the age of 50, you start to realize that more than half of your life is behind you. And if you're not in the spot you thought you would be, or you want to be someplace else in the very near future so that you can live that very best life for yourself, and that very best life looks very different for everybody, of course, but your very best life, and someone said to you, here's the 5 things that you need to focus on right now to help progress you towards that. Wouldn't we want to do it?
Right.
Yet we don't. That's the challenge. Yet we don't. So when you ask a highly successful person, how did you get there? Most of them say the same things. Get a plan, put it on your calendar, and then execute. It's in the execution where we fail. All of us. I'm just as guilty of it all the time. I spend a lot of my time right now on recruiting and training and putting together classes and working with the coaching program at all 3 market centers. And I spend a lot less of my time on growing my own real estate business. So guess what's happened? What you focus on expands. It's one of my old laws that I love. What you focus on expands. So it's proven for me over and over again. What I focus on right now is recruiting, training, and building the coaching program so that you all can find the success that you're looking for. So that's what's expanding for me, not real estate. If I focus on real estate, then that would expand. So you really just have to, and then I love the no pressure, no diamonds. And so that truly speaks to me. Listen, guys, if you didn't want to have pressure in your life, you got into the wrong business. This is pressure. And the pressure comes from this. I have to force myself to get up and do these 5 things today. And so write them down, right? What are the 5 things I can do today that will help me progress towards my goals? And then be 1% better every single day, right? Even just 1%, it is discipline. It is discipline. Anybody else? Go ahead.
Say time spent on something. Time spent on something is time away from something else.
Correct.
So yeah, so if I know that whatever I spend my time on is taken away from my time with my son or my family or whatever, so whatever I'm saying yes to has to be something
Important.
It has to be productive.
Yeah.
Not have to be at home.
Well, and don't you think this, if we get in the right training and we learn the things that we need, the tools and systems that KW and elsewhere puts in place for us, then we can be more efficient with our time. Nobody wants to waste time. Whoever said I love it. One time when I was hosting open houses and someone came in on a Sunday and I said, what brought you here today? And they said, we're just trying to kill a Sunday. And I was like, what?
Right.
Whose time is so invaluable that they want to kill a Sunday? I just thought that was just a silly thing to say. They probably didn't mean it, but they were just meaning they're just out and about. Whatever. You must be pretty bored that you want to kill a Sunday. But anyway, we want our time to be, it is precious, and we need to be efficient, and we need to be able to be productive in the shortest period of time. So therefore, we can actually, so like the tools we have in place, like Command, for example, it's meant to help save you time. So taking the time up front to learn it, so that way it saves us time later. That's also why I put all the classes in the Google Drive, as well as recordings, because you guys can go back and learn all of the things you need to do and spend some time on the learning. So that way, when you get your first listing, you're not learning as you go, or I will say winging it. Same with working when you have something under contract. If you've come, and I think I taught it here. I remember Alex was sitting right where Janice is at when I taught the contract to close class. And I remember you saying, wow, I've never experienced anything like this before. I had no idea that there was all these things to do. And so coming to that and seeing what that looks like is going to help you be a better agent later when you have a pending transaction. So that's back to the learning base, which also helps you save time later. If you've never opened up your dot loop before, you don't want your first time to be, and we have some offenders, when you're writing an offer. It's going to take you 4 hours instead of 40 minutes. So any other thoughts, questions about any of the 6 personal perspectives?
Gina's Kim. I just think for me, I kind of want accountability every day, just because I want to do, like you just said, with the 5 things a day or something. I need to do something like that, like something where I'm actually held accountable for 5 things. And just, even if I'm just calling, even if it's a friend who's not a realtor, because right now I'm getting bogged down and just, I'm excited. I have a couple listings, but at the same time, it's like I get bogged down in making sure those people are happy, and I spend too much time on those clients, and I should be cultivating. And I also have, like, as I've told you before, a few people I'm trying to recruit. I've given you some of their names. I'm still trying to talk to them about responding and do that kind of thing. And one new person even that is leaving another career and wants to become a realtor, even when the market's like it is and so different. But yeah, so I feel like there's other things I should be doing, and I'm just not using my time wisely. And I'm trying to work another little job, but it's like I'm not using my time wisely. It comes back to that and disorganization.
Put it in your calendar today, Friday night, whatever it is, whatever day of the week it is, maybe it's Sunday. What are the 5 things that I need to accomplish on Monday? And are those the same things I want to do on Tuesday? Or are they different? What are the 5 most important things that help me, not just to-dos, guys?
Right.
What are the 5 most important things? And maybe for some people it's 7 things, and some people it's 2 things, and that's okay. But what are the most important things I have to focus on today to help me grow my business? And then do them. And maybe that's just getting content for my social media for the week. That could be one. And there's just so many things that could be, that will help you be able to say, I ended my day feeling like I did all the normal little to-dos, but I also focused on these grouping of things, again, whether that would be 3, 5, or 7 things that I actually got done that will help me boost my business. And this is why we do Dominate Your Week. It's kind of the same thing. We get off track a little bit with all of the questions and things, which I love. I love that it's different every single week and there's all kinds of little gold nuggets in there. But we get off of what are you focusing on this week to grow your business? That's really the key question. How do you want to grow your business? And what are the things you're going to focus on? So Kim, maybe every Monday, and I know you come a lot to Dominate Your Week.
Well, sometimes,
come into the Dominate Your Week with the most important 5 things for each day that you want to do this week.
Right.
That would be perfectly fine to take your time to kind of discuss what that looks like.
Right. Good. Thank you. Yeah, I need to get back to actually coming in person. I've not scheduled it in like I should, so I've let the time get away. But
Yeah.
I've tried to call in sometimes, but that's a good point. It's true.
Yeah.
And then following up with these folks, I mean, there's people who are coming to me. I barely had any business. I don't even know what I'm doing yet in this world. And I have friends coming to me saying they want to do it. And I just feel like, oh my gosh, I have to get them connected with you. Like, even if it means like me setting up a meeting where the three of us are together or something, so they come,
Go to coffee.
because
Yep.
it's ridiculous.
Coffee.
It's
Yeah, for
ridiculous.
sure. Well,
And
don't
so-
get threatening where they have to come in the office. I'm happy to meet them for coffee. We can make
Right.
a coffee.
Just wherever.
Time.
Yeah. Hmm.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing.
Yeah. And you're really good at this. And, you know, I think it's taken me a minute to, like, I don't know, come out of my past world, you know, too, and realize like what I'm doing here and how much value there is in all of this training. And obviously I love the training, but at the same time, just see it, how it applies in the long run and how that just so supports everyone. And I think that a couple of one of them for sure is coming from another place. And I just think that she needs this. She wants it. And it's like, I'm trying to just pull her because she feels bad about leaving where she's at. And I'm like, you know, you got to do what's good for you if it's your business at the end of the day.
Let her
So
into accommodate your week and have her just come in with you.
yeah, I'd like to try to get her to, she works, she wasn't wanting to work full time, but she's working again as a physical therapist. So she doesn't want to do it. She wants to do this. And it's just, I can't, yeah, if I can grab her on a day off, I definitely will. Definitely.
Yeah.
So
Thank you,
thanks.
Pam.
Anyway, yeah.
All right, guys, couple more minutes. Anybody else? Anybody there? Sarah, have any questions, thoughts, or anything they want to share?
No, they're mostly just realizing that they have to be more accountable, as they all just said,
Huh?
and find partners.
I love it. Yes.
Well, I guess I could just search it actually, but there's a 411 tool from the
Yeah.
last session.
Yeah,
It's in the drive.
it is. Mhm.
Okay.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for joining us. Scripting is Friday from 10 to 11 on Zoom.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
That's just my